When you dare to try, your chance is always greater than zero. But when you refuse to try, when you stay where you are and keep thinking without acting, your chance becomes exactly zero. Life does not reward good intentions. It rewards action. Many people spend a lot of time thinking about what they want to do with their lives. They imagine success. They imagine a better future. They imagine becoming someone different. But imagination alone does not change reality. A dream can only become real when someone is willing to move, to try, and to risk being wrong. We are already living in 2026. The world moves faster every year. Opportunities appear and disappear quickly. The people who benefit from those opportunities are not always the smartest or the most talented. Often, they are simply the people who decided to start. Many people wait for the perfect moment. They tell themselves they will begin when they feel ready, when they have more knowledge, when they have more money, when they feel more confident. But the perfect moment rarely arrives. In reality, most journeys begin with uncertainty. When you stand at a crossroads in life, you usually do not have complete information. You do not know exactly what will happen next. You only know that you must choose a direction. And that is where fear appears. People fear failure. They fear making the wrong decision. They fear wasting time. They fear the judgment of others. Because of these fears, they sometimes choose to do nothing. But doing nothing is also a decision. When you refuse to move forward, you choose safety. But you also choose stagnation. The world continues to move, opportunities continue to pass by, and time continues to move forward without you. However, when you choose to act, even if you are unsure, something important begins to change. If your decision is wrong, you gain a lesson. If your decision is right, you discover a path. Either way, you move forward. That is the difference between people who grow and people who remain stuck. The people who grow understand that mistakes are not the end of the journey. Mistakes are simply information. They show you what works and what is not. No one begins with perfect knowledge. Every expert was once a beginner. Every successful person once stood at the beginning of a path that looked confusing and uncertain. The difference is that they started. You do not need to be perfect before you begin. In fact, waiting for perfection is one of the biggest traps people fall into. They believe they must become better before taking the first step. But improvement usually happens after the first step, not before it. Think about learning any skill. At the beginning, you will not be good. Your first attempts may feel awkward. You may make mistakes. But with each small effort, you improve a little. Progress is built from small steps repeated over time. A writer does not create a book in a single day. It begins with a few sentences. An athlete does not become strong in a single training session. Strength grows through consistent practice. A business does not become successful overnight. It begins with an idea and grows through persistence. Small actions may look insignificant in the moment, but they quietly shape the future. Every step you take today builds a foundation for tomorrow. Unfortunately, many people underestimate the power of small actions. They believe that if the result is not immediate or dramatic, their effort does not matter. Because of that belief, they stop too early. But success is rarely dramatic in the beginning. It is usually slow, quiet, and invisible. You plant a seed today, but the tree does not grow tomorrow. It grows over time. The same principle applies to personal growth. Every small decision you make today is shaping the person you will become in the future. The world does not make space for people who only hesitate. It makes space for people who move. This does not mean that people who act are always confident. Many of them are still afraid. Many of them still doubt themselves. The difference is that they act despite their fear. Courage does not mean the absence of fear. Courage means moving forward even when fear is present. Another important truth about success is this: you do not need to win immediately. You only need to continue. Many journeys fail not because people lack talent or intelligence, but because they stop too soon. They try once and feel disappointed. They try again and begin to doubt themselves. After a few setbacks, they decide the path is not meant for them. But sometimes the breakthrough was only one more step away. Persistence is not about never falling down. Persistence means standing up and continuing to walk. The people who eventually reach their goals are not always the most gifted. They are often the people who refuse to quit in the middle of the journey. Over time, something interesting happens when you keep moving forward. You begin to see opportunities that were invisible before. You meet people who inspire you. You gain experience that changes how you think. Each step opens another door. But if you remain still, none of those doors appear. Your world remains the same because your actions remain the same. This is why the most important decision in life is often the simplest one: the decision to begin. You do not need to know every step of the journey. You only need enough courage to take the first step. Maybe today you will only take a small step. That is enough. Maybe tomorrow you will take another one. That is progress. Step by step, your direction begins to change. And one day, when you look back at the path you have walked, you will realize something surprising. The most important moment was not the moment you succeeded. The most important moment was the moment you decided to move. It was the moment you chose action over hesitation. It was the moment you refused to let fear keep you still. And one day in the future, you will quietly thank yourself for that decision. Not because the journey was easy, but because you did not turn back. You started, and that made all the difference.